This week's episode of Resilience Unscripted is brought to you by An Obstruction of Art.
This week's episode of Resilience Unscripted is sponsored by PK Law Group.
Welcome back to episode 18 of Resilience Unscripted. I'm here today with Dan Smola from Empower. Nice to see you.
Oh, correct.
Oh, correct.
Thank you for having me.
Where else are you from and what else do you do? Introduce
What else
yourself.
do I do? Well,
So I know you do a lot.
I do a lot. I'm a busy boy. So grew up in a small town in Western Mass, Ware, Massachusetts. I always hear the, oh, where's where kind of thing. So don't do that, please. No, but I grew up there. When I was a little bit younger, parents got divorced, bounced around a little bit, still stayed in Western Massachusetts, but I ended up going to high school in Springfield, and then that's kind of where everything took place. I was a Springfield kid from then moving forward.
Nice. What do you do currently?
Currently, I'm third generation in a construction company for National Grid, Eversource. We're the primary civil contractors. We cover from like Sturbridge to the New York line.
Okay.
That's why I had no time to do anything in recovery. So that's why I'm also the alumni coordinator, and I do all the community outreach for Empower Health Group.
Nice. I like that. You have your own company as well.
I'm third generation of that construction company. Yeah. So
What is Rhino Recovery?
Rhino in recovery. That's kind of so when I first got sober, and just by doing all the right things, right, taking all the suggestions that everybody told me, people started saying I was a unicorn.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't like the way that sounded because
I wouldn't like the way
set
that
me up
sounds
for
either.
failure. So then I was like, well, like a chubby unicorn. And then my sponsor said like a rhino. So that's kind of stuck, and then we just rolled with it.
Okay. So do you offer any type of services through that, or is it just something like a brand?
It was kind of like a brand. So when I first started, and I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I felt like just by sharing that was helping people.
Yeah.
Then when Matt O'Malley, the owner of Empower, was talking to me about potentially, he said he wanted to hire me in some capacity, didn't know what it looked like. I was like, well, maybe I'll try to do like the recovery coaching.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'll try to come up with some, like, so the Rhino and recovery thing is just kind of what I went with, just because I never was the kind of guy that would hop on social media and share anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, because I spent the majority of my life trying to hide by putting on these masks or putting these facades out there, because I wanted you to think I was a certain way, or I wanted to show up as who I thought you wanted me to show up as, right? So this also doubled as like a part of my healing, because I was able to be honest and vulnerable. And then it was like, well, if I'm going to put it out there for everybody, now I don't really have anywhere to hide anymore.
Right. So you took the mask off and showed the world what was really going on and how you could help people.
Yeah, I did. It's a blessing now. Probably the most uncomfortable thing, and that is including going through treatment and going through all the stuff that I had gone through. Being comfortable with who I really am, and like just letting people see. And then I had this tough guy thing going on my entire life.
I think we all do. We put the wall up.
But so, yeah, I mean, I certainly did. But now using that as a tool to show people like you can be vulnerable. It's okay. That's not weak. Like, me recovering is like the strongest thing I ever did. And vulnerability turned out to be like a superpower.
It's recovering out loud.
Absolutely. Recovering out loud. And then just being able to be honest, but not even just honest with other people, like truly being honest, like with myself, where I'm at, how I feel, what that looks like, and being comfortable, and actually now having like a vernacular, like vocabulary to explain how I'm actually feeling,
What does a normal day-to-day look for you? Sounds like you're very busy.
It's crazy. So my day for the last, well, we're going on 20 months, God willing, of
That's
recovery.
awesome.
Since I got out of treatment, it has been fasted cardio 4 a.m.,
Okay.
5 o'clock, start getting myself ready. I belong to a morning meditation group. So that's on Zoom. I get that channel up and running at 5:50. I'm in my office. We do the meditation. We're off by 6:30. I do a Zoom meeting for AA at 7. Conduct my day. Do all my business stuff that I have to do. I'm on the phone with construction stuff. I double dip because nobody gets sober when you want them to.
Right.
Everybody needs you whenever they need you. So those calls pop up whenever. I send the mass text out to all the alumni that have been in the Empower program. I send it to everybody. So reach out to, it's 165 people.
Nice.
And then I'm a dad. I'm a husband, right? So soccer dad. So whatever day it is,
That
either
keeps you
practice,
busy.
it's hectic, but it's manageable. And I mean, I was always showing up before. I was always there. I was just never present for any of it.
Right.
So to be able to show up now without any of the crazy mind stuff going on, because I run that program the way I do, meditation setting me up for the day, being able to process my emotions without substances, right? Not having to define thoughts, actually being able to self-regulate and then start my day like that is something I never thought would. I just didn't think meditation was worth it anyway. Like,
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I can't focus for shit.
yeah. Well,
Like I've tried and tried and tried.
can we curse on this?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so the first time when I was in treatment, like when I first met Mathematics, we were just talking about him earlier. When I first met him and I was in withdrawals and detox, he was like, yo, why don't you try breath work? I go, fuck you. I'm like, that it's not going to work. Oh yeah, I'm just going to breathe and all of a sudden and then I was sitting there and I had a lot of time to kill. I was like,
So you gave it a shot.
I'll try it. I'll try it for a minute. And I'm like, I can feel a little better. Okay. So maybe there's something to this, right? And then it was, why don't you try to meditate a little bit while you're here? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? No, dude, I'm not going to do that shit. I feel like shit. And I started doing it. And it was 1 minute. And then it was 5 minutes. And then when I went up to CSS, I'm like talking to my roommate, let's do a 10-minute guided meditation before we start the day.
Nice.
And then it just started the momentum with that. And that's like probably like the strongest pillar of my recovery.
If somebody wanted to start seriously meditating, what would the first suggestion for them to be?
Start slow. Don't judge yourself.
Because I can zone out. I just can't meditate.
Well, it's the same thing. It's just you're putting a label on it, right? Like you can drive and not know how you got to that place in a half hour.
I've done that before.
Well, because you're distracted, but you're focused at the same time, right? So your subconscious is getting you there. You're not thinking about, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You're just stuck in that zone.
Yeah.
A lot of people get that. So like if I go on the treadmill in the morning, just the cadence from my walking and I start counting steps and I pick a focal point, I look down and I'm like, oh, 31 minutes already, right? So you can get lost in those kind of things. When you're meditating on a certain intention, it takes a little bit of time, but the guided meditations, just some soft music, because all it is just breathing. Breathing and not judging yourself, not judging your thoughts, allowing things to just pass.
So I bought it. It was called like a meditating Buddha, and it changes color and it teaches you how to meditate. And I took it here one night during a house meeting because the house was in an uproar about something.
Yeah.
Someone and something. So I was like, all right, let's meditate. They could all do it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I bought this fucking thing and I can't even do it. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm watching everyone participate. I'm like, just breathe and like pretend you know what you're doing, right? But like, I think I overfocus on it so much that I overcomplicate it.
That's the thing. Just keep it simple, just like everything else that goes along with this. Yeah, I mean, we breathe all the time, right? And like breathing's so important. I mean, we rescheduled this because I got my nose fixed. Because I'm like, well, if this is going like this and I'm seeing the result, what if it gets better?
Yeah.
Right. So
how is your nose? Your nose is good?
Yeah, I mean, better.
Can you
than
breathe
it was.
better?
I can breathe a lot better.
Well,
I could
then
breathe a
that's
lot
good.
better when I first got out of surgery. But yeah, it's like the most underrated thing, and it's free. That's the thing too. Like you tell people to do it, and I feel like if you don't have to pay a subscription or a membership fee, people are like, oh, it ain't worth it.
Right.
We can do a lot of these things that people say, hey, why don't you try this? It's free. We just take it for granted.
We kind of, yeah, I agree. So you start the day off with fasted cardio. Throughout the day, you work. At what time does your recovery work wrap up? Because I always say there's no closing time with this business ever.
No, well, and the day just it doesn't end.
No.
But that's not every day, you know. But I get a lot of calls in the middle of the night, right? And it's actually when I first started posting stuff, like just me talking about recovery on the internet, people are like, "Well, why are you doing that?" I'm like, "It helps people," and they're
It
like,
does.
"Well, are you doing that for validation or for to truly help people?" And it's like I put 3 people in a treatment this week that reached out to me, calling me on Facebook. They didn't have my number. Something resonated with them.
That wasn't for validation. That was to save someone's life.
So that's since I started this, if I can save one person, because I've lost a lot of people.
Me too.
Right. From when I was younger to 8 weeks ago, I lost a buddy, and this is happening far too frequently. So
Yeah.
if I can save one, then whatever I'm doing is worth it, or was
That's helping and it's making a difference.
Yeah. So that's kind of what the trajectory was. And that's kind of how I fell into the position over at Empower too.
I love that. And they saw something in you to take what you've went through and use your experiences to help others. And that's huge.
Yeah, for sure. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever been a part of. And that's why it's like, is it inconvenient at times, right? I don't want to get woken up at 2:30 in the morning hearing somebody's, but then I look at it like I still have angels in my life, like mathematics or Maddie O'Malley, these people that they were just like, no, we're going to just hold on to you. We're going to keep you up when you can't stay up on your own.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like even in just going through, when I went to detox on day 1, I went in there with a significant brain bleed, right? And I was on stroke and seizure watch for 72 hours. Day 4, I called my wife and I said, I don't belong here with these kind of people, right? Because I was still judging people. I was judging people. I thought that it has nothing to do with the substance. Once the substance is at, I had no idea that my behaviors, my actions, like my thought process and the way that I processed anything, I had no idea that was the problem, right? But there's a saying like, if I'm not the problem, then there is no solution. Right. So if I understand that I am the problem, then I understand that I can also be my own solution. Because recovery is like, you can have the best network that you want, but it's you versus you, because people aren't with you all day, every day. So that's why these tools that I take so seriously, that I just don't waver. But people wanting to get in recovery, if those people weren't there for me, then where would I be? So now I feel like God was like, hey, buddy, I'm going to sit you down here. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to give you a bunch of people that care about you. We're going to make these people a huge part of your life. They're going to open doors that you could never see before. You just have to walk through them. But in return, you're going to have to give it back the rest of your life in order to keep it. And then that's fair to me, because I always had a pretty good life. Financially, I was stable. I have a home. I have a family. Let's talk about that. I have all that kind of stuff, right? But that was what was going to put me in a box.
Right.
Ego, because I didn't have to reach out for help, because I always looked at people, right? Like it was never, how is Dan doing from Dan at his worst to Dan at his best today? I would look at it. I'd be like, at least I'm doing better than this fucking guy. Yeah. I don't even think like that anymore. And I'd say it disgusts me, but no, it just shows me how much I evolved.
It's growth.
And that's what it is, right? So I'm not judging myself from before. But while I would stand on like on a pedestal, and I would point down at the people that I thought were doing better than me, I would punch down on myself too. So I'd be punching down on me because I'm not doing as good as him. And I would punch down on them because it's just a horrible cycle to be involved in, when I just have to worry about me, man, my hula hoop, right?
Right. So you're coming up on 2 years.
Got a little bit of time. 20 months, God willing, on the 19th of this month. 2 years. So my sobriety date is 3/19/24.
I love that.
I have a lot of traction, but I don't take that for granted, man, because things happen. I mean, since I've been sober, I've had a couple surgeries, right?
Mhm.
Now, I'm the kind of guy, I went into rehab and I was like, I'm here for alcohol. What I didn't say was, I'm here for alcohol. And the reason that my alcohol is so heightened lately is because this is what I use so I can wean myself off of pain medication.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff that I use when my prescription Xanax is out. I drink more because I can't deal with it. So I always need something. But I can't be honest about that. I want to tell my wife how bad that it got. I can't tell anybody. So I'm going to go to rehab and just say, I'm here for booze. That was simple, right? Everyone can get that. Because I don't want people to look at me like, oh, is he a junkie? What if, because I was so worried about, well, what are they going to think about me?
So was that primarily what you went in for, was
Alcohol and opiates.
Okay.
I had a lot of surgeries throughout the last 10 years of my life. And I can blame doctors all I want. Doctors gave me some, and I found the rest,
Right.
how I found the rest. But again, too, I was never that bad because I could get them. I could get them for a bunch of us, right? But I'll only keep this many this week. And next week, I'll keep this many to the point where I'm breaking even because now, and I'm still looking at them like, these people need me, right? It's like, no, I need this, and I need them to keep coming. Otherwise, this is gonna go south, and then things dry up and life changes. But yeah, alcohol was always.
What was the breaking point for you that led you to go to treatment?
My wife lost her brother 11 years ago to an overdose, right? And she left me, not because she didn't love me, not because she didn't want to try and work on things, but she couldn't continue to watch me spiral out like that because I was a great actor, because I still went to work, still paid my bills, still had everything. And I would always say, if the worst thing that I'm doing is coming home and have a couple of drinks, who's that bothering? Well, I'm stealing her peace of mind and I'm killing myself. But
Right.
my aunt calls it suicide by installments. Right. But she left and I slipped in my driveway during a snowstorm and I landed on a trailer hitch behind my ear.
Jesus.
So I had a pretty significant brain bleed. I was in the hospital a few times for that. So I had all the pain medication I needed now. So I had that locked down. What I didn't have is a way to get alcohol. But God blessed me with DoorDash, right? So I knew every day at 10 a.m. they were just going to keep. I was out of work for 5 weeks. I got this under control. I'm going to drink and drug until I pass out. And then I'm going to drink and drug when I wake up till I pass out. And that's going to be how my days go.
That was the cycle.
That was it. So my wife and daughter my daughter plays competitive soccer and they were at a soccer tournament in Florida. And I called my wife and I was like, hey, I didn't talk to her for like 2 months. And I said, hey, she's like, what do you want? And I was like, I'm dying. She's like, what do you mean? I said, I think I'm dying. And I wasn't kidding. And she flew home. She got on the phone. She did everything for me. And even me at my lowest, right? I'm like, I'm not fucking going anywhere around here. Find me somewhere out towards Boston or something. And she did.
Where did you go for treatment?
I went to Bedrock. But the funny part is, too, this is what's funny about it. So she calls. Everyone's great to her on the admission line. Everything's going smooth. And she's like, okay. They said they'll be here in an hour and a half. Now, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, shit, this just got real. So
It hit you.
Hit me. So what did I do? I went to the package store. Took a handful of anxiety pills, went to the package store. Crushed a bunch of booze, went there like an absolute shit show. Because I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be my last go.
Hurrah.
The madness behind alcoholism and addiction is mind-blowing. I'm going somewhere to get better, but I still need one more to go. So I went there. It it was tough. Like I said, I went from day 1 to day 4, I was in really rough shape. And when I started to feel better on day 4, I was coming home. That was it. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Everybody's in here for this. Everyone's in here for, I'm too busy comparing and not trying to be relatable at all. And I remember Math gave me a hard time. He got this line. I've heard him say it to a variation of it to people. It's either, what he told me, I'd rather step on your feelings than step on your grave. And again, I'm like, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Well, the thing was, so he knew I had called and he had been in contact with my wife. They'd been texting back and forth. And my wife's like, you have to keep him there. He's going to die. And she wasn't wrong, you know? So I remember day 4, I went to bed. I was having horrible post-acute withdrawal syndrome. Horrible. I was crying. Just my clothes touching me were making me cry. Everything hurt. My legs were misfiring. And I had a really rough time. I went to the nurse's station. I'm like, you got to give me something to put me out because I can't do this. And they gave me some stuff, some Seroquel, you know, what they call them, the funsies, right? But they gave me enough where I was able to sleep. Worst nightmares of my life. And I only slept for like 2 hours. And I had they were so vivid, I could draw them out for you right now. I still remember them to this day. And I woke up and I was like, well, I'm not trying to go back to sleep if that's how that's going to go. I still felt super uncomfortable. I went to the first group and I went through it. I felt horrible. We had a little bit of a break and I went into my room and I started journaling. I didn't have a journal, but they gave me some like printer paper to write. And I was bawling my eyes out, right? Because I had all these suicidal ideations for like weeks leading up to, and I was real close. I even had a plan and I discussed it with my wife. Well, she actually overheard me talking to somebody else on the phone because I didn't want to do that in my house. So I had a spot that I was going to and I just, because I didn't want to leave a mess for her if she had to resell the house. Right. It broke her heart when she heard that, but that's real. And I was writing about that. I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out, and it's like, you know, if I wasn't here, if I didn't have nurses to take care of me, if I didn't have something to put me out, there was only 2 ways that could have gone. Right. I was either going to find something to put me out, or I was going to put me out. And so I was grateful to have been there. But just saying like how much I let everybody down and this and that and post-acute withdrawal syndrome, I had no idea what that even was because I never had to go through it. You know, I was never strung out long enough where I was without anything. And I cleaned myself up because now I got to go be tough again.
Right.
I went into the next group and that's when Math came in, threw me that saying. He said, I heard about your exit strategy. I was like, yeah? He's like, what do you think about it? You think it's solid? I'm like, yeah, I think it's pretty solid. And that's what, I think it's bullshit, man. And I'd rather step on your feelings than step on your grave. And then he started passing out the papers that we're going over with in that group, right? And I'm like, grab it. And I look, and it's all about post-acute withdrawal syndrome. And I'm like, do they have a camera in my room? Because that's how fucked up I still was, right? Like, are they watching me? And then I'm like, they want my insurance money so bad that it just dawned on me like, no, like you're not special, man. And
everyone's going through it.
All of this stuff, you finally have the substances enough out of your head where you like have a little bit of clarity. And it's like, I felt like God hit me with a stop sign and was like, buddy, if you leave, it's over. Like you're never coming back. You're never coming back to your house. You're never coming back. Because when I left, it wasn't going to be long. If I was doing the same thing that I was doing with a brain bleed, I was still wearing sunglasses and detox because my headaches were so bad.
Yeah.
So I stayed. And after that group, he told me, he said, you know, they're going to have a conference call with your wife and your father. And they're going to have that at 3:00 and they're going to blindside you with it. And I don't think that's right. So I said, I'm staying. And he was like, what do you mean? Now, keep in mind, I've been an asshole to this guy from the first time I saw him until up until this point. I said, I'm staying. And he's like, for how long? Until you tell me I can go. And he was like, are you okay? I'm like, no. And we sat down in the hallway and he's like, well, do you want to use my cell phone? You can call your wife, give her peace of mind That way she don't have to wait till 3. I'm like, you let me do that? And he's like, yeah, for sure, man. He called my wife for me. I told her I was staying. She was bawling her eyes out. And that, like, it just changed everything because nothing was making sense.
Yeah.
But something was like, just, okay, this is what we got to do. When I went up to CSS, I would tell people, like, yo, you have no reason not to go to group. They're doing your laundry. They're folding the shit for you. You got to shuffle your ass down in your PJs to go to fucking group. If you're in my room, you got no fucking excuse. I didn't miss a group, and I told them, even though, like, because insurance, they got good reports. My insurance was like, oh, we're not going to cover them after. It was like 22 days or something like that. And I was like, I don't want to leave. I was ready for 35. I mean, I did detox and then a little less than a month upstairs. But that's why I paid attention to the statistics, because it's not favorable, man. If you just leave after detox, you might as well just stay in the parking lot, And if you just go home after CSS, it's like they're just getting your head right. You're just starting to get a couple tools. And then the reason that they say go to PHP, go to IOP, go to sober living if you can, right? Not because they just want your money, because they're trying to give you the longest time they can for you to fucking save your own life. That's it. Because when it comes down to it, no one else can do this for you. So I took the suggestions, man. I went to the PHP, went to the IOP. I have had some contract stuff that we were going through. I mean, I have my own house and everything, and I had a pretty good network established. So I went home, but I would have went through the whole gamut. I mean, I drank all the Kool-Aid. At that point, I realized, like, I can't do this on my own. And it's not weak anymore to say I need help, right? No, it never was. But now I felt like you're okay, man. Like, I finally felt like I was starting to raise, like, that broken little boy inside. Like, we're going to be okay. Like, I got this for us, right? All the things that I wished would have happened, or my expectations or anything like that, I'm finally able to do that for myself, right? And then that comes, like, start building, I don't want to say confidence, but my self-esteem was starting to, so now I could depend on me. Absolutely. So that was something that was still foreign to me, because everything before was just false pride. It was just another mask on a mask. It presented well, but it was just all bullshit. So. So mother's side, there's a lot of alcoholism. Cousins, second cousins, everything is prevalent there. My father came to the United States from Poland when he was 16. So I never met his real father, but I guess he was a bad drinker. But again, too, I mean, I don't want to sit here and psychoanalyze people, but there's certain behaviors that you see, like, once you just know, right? And that's why it's funny, like the 12-step programs, I feel like everybody should just go. I feel like they should, because it's that step work, man, that separates, people that are just sober as opposed to people that are actually living in recovery and working a program. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It happens a lot, right? I'm just honest with them, right? Because a lot of these people, like, I'm just me, and I'm just me at the program I work at too, right? Like, I remember when I first got hired, and I was like, I don't know anything about this. What do you want me to, like, what do you want me to do? They're like, just be Dan, just keep talking. So I just tell people, like, it's so powerful to know you're not alone, right? So when you're dealing with somebody, because everyone says, well, must be nice for you to say, right? Things are going good for you. It's like, it takes work, right? But don't sell yourself short, right? And again, too, going back to what I was saying about being, comparing to people and being relatable. I just let, most of the time, man, what is it? Do you need help? Do you need to be heard? Or do you need a hug, right? The 3 H's, right? So most of the time, people just want to air it out. And even like with the guys that, oh, I don't need this, I don't need blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, you know, what do you got for legal issues? You know, because maybe this is going to be favorable if you just see it through. Or, you know, to validate their feelings, man. Tell them it's like, yeah, dude, I've been there, man. But I haven't been in every step in your shoes, man. So let's talk about that. Let's see what that looks like. And then if I can find that common thread and just show them, like, you got people here for you. When you go home, I mean, if someone's going to drink and drug, they're going to drink and drug. That's how it goes. But if you can show them, man, like, you don't have to do this, right? There's other ways, right? And it doesn't have to be my way, right? Because I'm a big fan. Like I said, I like the 12-step programs, but I'm a fan of whatever the fuck works for you. You know, because a lot of people, you start talking about 12-step, they're like, well, I don't believe in God. Okay, we don't have to do that. There's smart recovery, Dharma recovery. There's so many different types of things out there for people to do. I went with one and it works for me, so I don't care about the rest of it. I think there's room for all of it. I like to, obviously, meditation, so I'm into all of it. This is what I do because that's where I go get my medicine. Let's find out what works for you. We're doing some pretty cool stuff at Empower. We're gonna be doing like kind of a la carte with the recovery coaching, but we're gonna start out with like Medicare, Medicaid, mass health stuff. Right, because a lot of people need help and it might not be affordable. So, I mean, people can obviously on my social media stuff, Rhino in Recovery, or I can give everyone my stuff. If they go on any of the Empower Health Group forums, they can find me on everything. Yeah, Dan Smola or Dan S at empowerhg.com. There's literally 100 different ways that you can reach out to me now. But yeah, the recovery coaching thing is great, right? But I tell everyone I went into treatment and I got all these shiny tools, right? And I got this tool belt. And when I got out of treatment, I had no idea how to build anything. That's why I think extended recovery or going into AA, NA, CA, whatever A you want to, that's where you learn how to build stuff because it's about staying locked into community. And they're like, a lot of people say, well, it's not isolation. What I'm doing is solitude. It's like you're trying to hide, you know? So being around like-minded people and just keeping it going, man, because I never heard one person say, oh, I was a coke addict or I smoked crack forever and now I'm cured. It doesn't happen. No, it just doesn't happen. So it's something, if you look at it for what it truly is, addiction and alcoholism as a disease, right? And you treat it as such, and you're not embarrassed about it, and you just stay locked in. You don't have to do much. I know people that might hit a meeting a week. I still do more because I'd rather a little bit more than not enough. So
I like that.
yeah.
Well, this wraps up episode 18. Check us out on Wednesday when this airs. Bye.
Appreciate you guys.